How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is wrapping up its 30th anniversary sale ahead of the holiday sale, and I want to do a final video looking at some of the deals that are available as a part of this sale. Now, the interesting thing is this sale is going to bleed into the holiday sale for a day, but with how the holiday sale works is they have a refresh of the deals in 2 weeks where they add more deals in, so honestly, these deals could be cycled back in the holiday sale refresh, but if you want to be a little bit more confident in picking them up, this is your last opportunity to do so. So with that being said, got quite a lot of deals. The majority of these are going to be over $20, so, you know, it is a little bit on the expensive side, and what I always say is if you plan on buying any games at around this price point, do be mindful of the fact you should probably play them sometime in the near future because they could always go lower in price because they actually have the headroom to go lower in price. But with that being said, let's get right into it and let's start things off with The Last of Us Part 1. It is 58% off for $29.39. In my opinion, this is either Naughty Dog's best game or their second best game. I'll go back and forth with Last of Us Part 1 and Uncharted 2. I think both those games are absolutely phenomenal. Last of Us Part 1 is absolutely tremendous. It's a game that I loved, and to be fair, I did buy the game 3 times. It was sent to me 1 time, but I've completed the game an absurd number of times, and I actually just started another playthrough of the game. Last of Us Part 1, by the way, is PS5 Pro enhanced, so if you want a reason to go back and you have a PS5 Pro, check it out there, but $29 and change, I think, is a great price for Last of Us 1. It's a game, to me, that from a narrative standpoint, start to finish, is so compelling. The gameplay is great. Joel is an awesome character, and Ellie's development throughout the story and their relationship developing throughout the entire story is really at the heart of the story, and I think it's incredibly well done. Obviously, I was super critical about this release when it came out at $70, but at 30 bucks, $29.39, I do find it a much easier game to recommend. Gran Turismo 7, also $29.39. This is a game that came out north of 2 years ago, actually almost 3 years ago at this point, and it's been holding up in price for quite a while. Finally, it's down below $30. I do enjoy Gran Turismo. I mean, these sim racers are gonna be something I always enjoy. In GT, I feel like racing games in general are fun games to me to just mentally unwind and kind of check out, not yet invested into a Last of Us-esque narrative, so to speak. But really did enjoy GT7 amidst all the controversy, obviously, when it came out, but the game's a worthwhile title. These days, I am more so into my arcade racers. Give me Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation 5, please, and that would be great, but nevertheless, GT7, $29.39, great price on that as well. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, $29.39 on this, and this is the interesting thing about the Sony titles as well. The Sony games seem to hit this $29 and change price threshold, and then if they don't get cheaper, like Demon Souls Remake, still $29.39, and I'm talking about the $70 releases. Nonetheless, Ghost of Tsushima is absolutely awesome, and you should play through the game. Kinda wish that Jin got another game based on the ending of Ghost of Tsushima. I think his story still has a lot of legs to it, but I'm also incredibly interested in how they handle Ghost of Yotei, and I still think that game's gonna be great. It's just, I really like Jin as a character. I know people are a little bit mixed on him, and I saw a lot of rhetoric of people being like, oh, Jin's not that great of a character, and I so disagree with that. I thought Jin's character arc throughout this entire game was so well done, and his almost descent into madness I thought was so well executed, and then the ending of this game, I know some people were like, oh, Jin's story has been told. I thought the ending easily can set up another title, and what I think is going to happen is I don't think they're done with exploring Jin as a character. I think even Ghost of Yotei is going to harken back to Jin. Obviously, it's set hundreds of years later, so it'll be interesting in how they handle that, but yeah, the game's great. Iki Island expansion here as well. Certainly do check that out. It's a great game. Next up, we got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Ultimate Edition. It is 80% off for $23.99. Good deal on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Y'all know how I feel about the Assassin's Creed games since the shift. Not my cup of tea, but everybody seems to like Odyssey as far as the people that are into the newer style of Assassin's Creed game. The game's got a lot of content, and with this Ultimate Edition, you actually get Assassin's Creed 3 HD Remastered. And I did enjoy AC3. It was probably my least favorite of the old style of Assassin's Creed games, but I still enjoyed it quite a lot, and I played it to completion and had a good time with it. As far as the main character, I just didn't think he was as compelling, and that game started off fairly slow, but nonetheless, that's just an accessory to the Ultimate Edition. of AC Odyssey. A lot of content here, so definitely check that out. Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition, $39.59. Yo, this is super expensive for Horizon Forbidden West, a game that did come out around the same time as Gran Turismo 7, but they did release the Burning Shores expansion, and that's baked into the Complete Edition. Also, as far as PS5 Pro enhancements go, this is one of the greatest enhancements that you're ever gonna see, and this might be one of the best looking video games of all time. I think, bar none, it's one of the best looking video games of all time. And it already looked great on the base PlayStation 5, and if you're on the base PlayStation 5, don't worry about that. But on the Pro, it's just nuts how good this game looks. Forbidden West is awesome, man. I didn't like it as much from a narrative standpoint as Zero Dawn, but I still think it's a fantastic game. Horizon is legitimately, at this point, probably my favorite PlayStation IP that's going on right now. I know Horizon has a lot of divisiveness to it. However, in terms of the games I like, and for whatever reason, sometimes a game just clicks with you, and you can even tell that it has its shortcomings, and Horizon does. But for me, it's my favorite as far as the ongoing franchise right now. Like, Horizon I would put over God of War, over Last of Us, over Ghost of Tsushima, or Ghosts in general. Like, it is my favorite of the concurrent PlayStation IPs. Not like, you know, comparing it to Uncharted, I'd probably rank Uncharted above it, but you get the idea. I'm a sucker for Horizon, love the game, and I love the story as well. Even though Forbidden West gets so crazy with it, I still like the world, I should say. I just think it's such a unique world, and I really enjoy it. So I know a lot of you guys aren't as crazy about Horizon as I am, but I think Forbidden West is really, really good. Amidst the narrative chaos, I still think it's a great game, and Burning Shores is solid as well. Unicorn Overlord, 40% off for $35.99. One of the most underrated games of 2024. It is an absolutely excellent tactical RPG done by Vanillaware, who did Muramasa the Demon's Blade, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Odin Sphere, Dragon's Crown. They did a lot of great titles, but recently it does feel like with 13 Sentinels and Unicorn Overlord, yeah, Vanillaware has always been good from an art direction standpoint, soundtrack, all that has been really good, but now I feel like their narratives are getting better and better. Unicorn Overlord I wouldn't put at the level of 13 Sentinels, but it is still quite good, albeit a bit predictable, but still a damn good tactics RPG, and still has that awesome visual stuff. For $36, a solid pickup, obviously on the pricier side, but if you're into tactics RPGs, one to check out there. Next up, I'll give a shout out to Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. 50% off for $25. Now, this is a game that I would say is for the more hardcore fans of Like a Dragon. This is a bridge the gap game from Yakuza 6 into Kiryu's return in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So you should really be up to date with all the Like a Dragon titles if you're playing this title, or Yakuza games if you're playing this game. It's a good game. It's on the shorter side, which sometimes for a Yakuza fan is something more up our alley, but $50 could have also been seen as a little bit hefty of a price point, but at 25 bucks, I think that's a worthwhile pickup. Definitely do check that out if you're a fan. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown Complete Edition is 50% off for $25. This includes Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, as well as the Mask of Darkness story DLC, and some in-game DLC, outfits, and things of that nature. I really enjoyed Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I thought this game, from a promotional standpoint, was sent out to slaughter by Ubisoft. And that's the thing that I will say. I talk a lot about game promotion, and I think a lot of times publishers handle game promotion very incorrectly, where that's just emblematic of them not knowing who their audience is and having their finger on the pulse of how their game should be presented, because Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is legit a great game. But go back to that debut trailer, and that's what I'm talking about, you guys. That's when everybody could have realized that this game was gonna flop in terms of a commercial reception, but then doing things like not having a Steam release, it's just like, bro, Ubisoft, you set this game up to fail. And then, you know, expectations obviously should have been in line for a game like this, but I digress. The game is great, and I strongly recommend it. Great gameplay, good visual aesthetics, soundtrack's decent. 25 bucks, great price on that. Definitely do recommend that. Neo: The World Ends With You, 60% off for $24. I recently added, or I should say re-added the song Breaking Free from this game to my playlist. This game's soundtrack is so awesome. Just look up Neo: The World Ends With You, Breaking Free. Listen to that song and tell me that doesn't make you want to buy this game. Like, it'll make you want to buy the game. The rest of the soundtrack is great as well, but Breaking Free is, like, insane. Game's really good. It would be beneficial for you to play World Ends With You. There is a World Ends With You anime series, so you can watch that. The anime is pretty mid, so keep that in mind. And you can play the game without playing the original, but it would just be beneficial if you did. Game is really solid. I think you should check it out for $24. It's a Square Enix title, so it just is going to hold up in price for a long time. Unfortunately, didn't do incredible numbers commercially, but what can you do? It's a more niche JRPG franchise, and these things happen. Next up, the Like a Dragon starter pack. I didn't even know this bundle existed on the PlayStation Store, but you get Yakuza Like a Dragon and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth for $40. I think that's a pretty decent deal. It's essentially, Infinite Wealth is going to be $35 for the holiday sale. You're getting Yakuza Like a Dragon for $5 if you look at it that way. Or you could look at it at the standpoint of Infinite Wealth for $30 and Yakuza Like a Dragon for $10. And I actually like looking at it like that, because Infinite Wealth at $35 versus it just being $25 during Black Friday, that was a little bit annoying. But I digress. These games are great. Yakuza Like a Dragon is awesome, and Ichiban has become one of my favorite characters in all of gaming. He's just great, and you know, as we're getting older, it's just nice to have somebody that is a little bit older and has made some gargantuan F-ups in life be at the helm of the story, and then also have such a great attitude about life. I feel like Ichiban is just such a likable character in terms of how he takes life, and like, yo, man was screwed over. Play the game and you'll see how he was screwed over, but man was screwed over and he lost a significant portion of his life. But, you know, nonetheless, he still has a good outlook. I feel like people can take a lot of things from Ichiban and apply it to their life. You know, not everybody is a badass that can beat up random people on the streets. I do get that, but nevertheless, I feel like from a core value principle standpoint, there's a lot of things Ichiban just makes him a really likable character to me. And obviously, Kiryu does make a comeback in Infinite Wealth as well. And that game was great, but I do think Yakuza Like a Dragon has the better story. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Judgment is $9.99, great deal on that as well. And oftentimes I recommend that to be your first RPG game. Death Stranding Director's Cut, 60% off for $19.99. Death Stranding 2 is coming out next year, so I thought I would give that a mention for those of you that haven't played Death Stranding 1 or you haven't picked up the Director's Cut version. There is a Director's Cut upgrade. Game is really good. It's one of those games that I feel like from a game design standpoint is incredibly well done. Interested to see where they take Death Stranding 2 from a narrative standpoint, but I think there's a lot of potential there, and that's going to be one of the bigger games of 2025, so definitely check out the first. Sword and Fairy Together Forever Premium Edition is $19.99, $14.99 if you're a Plus subscriber. This game from a visual standpoint is absolutely phenomenal. Like, low-key, one of the best looking games you're gonna come across graphically. Gameplay is pretty standard action RPG fare, but it's a well-done game. I wouldn't say blow away, but from a setting and aesthetic standpoint, just really well done in that regard. And $20 or $15 with a Plus subscription, I feel like that's around the price point that is worthwhile for a game like this. Definitely a good pickup there. Next up, we have Long Gone Days, 30% off for $17.49. This is one of those games that I often go to bat for. I just think it's a really, really well done game from a narrative standpoint. Turn-based combat is very, very simplistic. It's very easy to go through. Soundtrack is like very soothing and relaxing for the most part. Like, I really like the soundtrack in this game. $17.50 might be a little bit pricey. The game is not super lengthy. You could probably complete it in around 15 hours or so, but worthwhile story there as well. War story that's really well done. Crysis Remastered Trilogy, 80% off for $9.99. Great deal for this. You get Crysis 1, 2, and 3. You know, the remasters aren't amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but they are fairly well done, and Crysis 2 is still a fantastic game. I don't think Crysis 2 gets the love that it deserves, but $9.99 for this trilogy I think is great. Gravity Rush 2, $9.99 on that. Yeah, Sony gonna be burning a lot of money developing games like Concord, but we can't get a Gravity Rush 3, you know, that's how life be. I understand why Sony makes the decision. Look, the gravy train and the potential bag that a Concord can offer versus what a Gravity Rush 3 can offer. I get why Sony does the things that they do, but it doesn't mean it's any less depressing. Gravity Rush 2 is awesome. Gravity Rush 1 was great, but 2 just builds upon it so well. Fantastic art style, good soundtrack, and likable characters as well. $9.99 for that is great. And lastly, XCOM 2 The Collection, 90% off for $9.99. Great price on XCOM 2. Game has some performance woes for sure, but overall a really, really solid tactics-based game. Can be pretty challenging, but incredibly rewarding as well. And you get the War of the Chosen expansion here. Good stuff all around, and some other DLCs in here as well, but good deal for that for sure. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals as a part of the 30th anniversary sale as that is wrapping up. Onto the holiday sale, and the holiday sale's early access period is live right now, and the sale itself should be live Friday. I was thinking maybe it would be live today. Looking at it, it's gonna be Friday. So that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.